Welcome, my fellow gladiators, spectators, and warriors. This week, we welcomed 2 extra warriors to our battlefield. Dropped the sodium a bit to see what the body's really looking like, right, babe? And we are at 197 pounds. Welcome to another episode of Revealing Hercules. So the time has come, my friends. The 2 vegan titans have finally come together. John Venus. So, if you guys don't know him yet, this is like my brother from another mother and from Norway, right?
Yeah. Norway, Brazil, whatever. It's confusing.
You travel it up.
Yeah.
If you guys like traveling, he does great like landscape and stuff. He covers everything really well. But we went into a back and bi workout today. Basically, whenever I go into a workout, the thing that I focus on is trying to contract your muscles really hard. So like when you're doing a row, instead of just doing the repetitions and getting through the movements and getting the numbers of 12 reps or whatever, when I come to the top of that row, I try to squeeze my elbows really hard back so I can feel my lats harden up. Or when I'm doing a curl, when I come to the top, I try to squeeze as hard as I can with that muscle so I can feel that bicep really harden up and contract. Now, I just think that this is a great mental cue for me. Like, it's not necessarily that I think like this adds like a whole inch of peak to the bicep or anything like that. I don't think it like does anything crazy, but mentally for me, it allows me to like really get into my workout, really understand like what muscle I'm contracting and not like, you know, on a bicep curl, not letting my deltoid come over and take over the movement because I'm feeling my biceps so hard that it's like hard to like mess up the form. That's my personal like tip for like lifting and whatnot.
Like what you're talking about is like a lot of people say they don't enjoy the workouts because they don't feel the pump or they don't get pumped.
Yeah.
And that's a lot with the, like you said, the mind muscle connection as well. Like,
yeah.
If you actually focus, you get pumped in the end. Like,
what's a tip that you think of when you go into a workout?
Yeah. Well, for me, the most important thing is like, and I made this mistake in the beginning as well. I was distracted in the beginning. I was like, you know, answering my friends on Facebook, whatever, on my smartphone or whatever, checking emails. And that's the thing that I see the most in gyms, people, you know, on their phones. And don't get me wrong, it's like, some people say, yeah, I'm not gonna chat, you know, fuck that, but you'll still be like changing your songs and stuff like that, and even that can distract you and like make you all of a sudden go a minute over on your rest period and stuff like that. So my tip on that is like make sure you have a playlist already, you know, ready before you go to the gym, so you don't have to like change the songs all the time. Yeah, exactly. It helps a huge amount. Like for me, it's been like game changing. And yeah, just make sure to hit the rest times and don't get distracted. Don't talk to people. Don't be on your phone. And you'll be so much more efficient.
So would you say that you usually, when you're working out, almost never pull out your phone?
No. I mean, at this point, rarely. Unless I'm like super busy and I have to meet a deadline and my web developer wants to contact me or something, it's like urgent. Yeah, unless like something like that happens, never.
So it's like, yeah, it's a good like disciplined mindset to get into. Yeah. Because then that habit just, it's there forever.
Yeah.
And then you're like, no man, I ain't gonna pull out my Snapchat. I saw the little notification, I don't give a damn though.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
A lot of you guys ask me if I take protein shakes. I actually do, especially on the days where I'm a little bit lower in calorie, where I might dig a little bit lower and do a couple hundred more calories less. I will have a protein shake at the end of the night. Now, how do I make my protein shakes? Well, I actually make them out of brown rice protein, but this is how you make them delicious. Of course, the brown rice protein is unflavored, so you do have to add your own flavoring. So we start off with a little bit of almond milk. We're gonna go for about 1 cup of it, which is about 60 calories. Then, of course, we're gonna add our scoop of brown rice protein. Again, it's just unflavored. So then what we add is this PB2. Now, you can get this even a generic brand at like Walmart or something. It's dehydrated peanut butter. So this stuff has a very good macro profile. It's actually 1.5 grams of fat, 6 grams of carbs, and 5 grams of protein. So for 2 tablespoons of this, you're actually adding 5 grams of protein, but also a ton of flavor. Then this is where the flavor really kicks in. I'm gonna use these flavor drops by MyProtein, and they come in a million different flavors. That's what's kind of dope. This one specifically is mocha or coffee. So I'm just gonna use 1 dropper full. And that's gonna add, it's gonna make it taste like this big Starbucks protein drink. It's really, really good. And then finally, because I am me and you guys know who I am, I'm gonna take a little tiny handful of cacao nibs because it's nice to have little chocolate chips coming in your mouth while you're drinking your protein at night. It's super, super tasty. After you shake it up, it is completely done. And just to show you guys the consistency, a lot of people ask if it's like chunky or whatnot.
Brown rice protein actually is the least chunky type of protein. It mixes extremely well in my opinion.
So there you have it, 29 grams of extra protein. Also, I had a special sale that I convinced the My Protein guys to let me do about a couple weeks, like 2 weeks ago, where I got 40% off for you guys on soy and brown rice proteins. I actually convinced them to let me do the same sale again. So if you guys are interested, there's a 40% off code and link in the description below, so you can pick up brown rice protein for literally it's like 30 cents per serving. It's incredibly cheap, so check that out if you are interested.
The perfect ab exercise, my friend. There's no perfect ab exercise, but you guys always ask me what do I do for my abs, and this is my absolute favorite exercise. It's very simple. You just find a decline bench or a lat pull down chair, and basically you're gonna come down as far as you can while keeping your abs contracted. You're gonna hold the plate in your arms. You can do a 45, 35, 25 pound plate, even a 10, or even none if you're just starting out. Just try to keep your abs contracted the whole time, and as you come back, try not to let your abs ungo and let your back take over, because you can hurt your lower back, your spine and whatnot. So if you feel back pain, you're going too far. Don't go that far. But just try to keep your abs contracted the whole time. As you come up, squeeze your abs as tight as you can. I generally like to do 4 sets of 25, but basically the goal for you is to get to 100 reps. It doesn't matter how many sets you take, so do 50 sets of a couple reps. It's totally fine, and just build your way up until you're able to do 4 sets of 25 reps. And this is my absolute favorite exercise for building thickness from the top to the bottom of the abs.
The whole squad on a back dough. Hey man, how you doing? Good. We got John Venus, Obese to Beast, we got JD, and we got LP today. We are doing a big squad man workout of doom. A bunch of us are doing legs, some of us are doing chest. I don't really know how this is gonna go, but I'm just gonna show you a little clip. It's and stuff. It'd be kind of fun to get just a little glimpse into the workout here.
My most important tip for the leg press is that a lot of people they push through from their toes. You really want to avoid that. Try to push everything, put as much weight as possible on your heels, and just drive everything from your heels. Try not to use your toes at all. That's the main tip. And go slowly. There's no point in going crazy and stuff like that. Control your reps. I really enjoy going really slow at the end. Just feel the muscle burn like crazy, so that when you're done with the set, you can barely walk. That's the best.
All right guys, being 2 days out of the show I just completed, I'm working on hamstrings primarily. So I'm sticking with 135, keeping it nice and moderate and going low and slow. Really trying to put some growth on the back side of my legs.
All right, so my tip for flies is most people okay, if you're not doing flies right, this is not a good tip for you. But if you are doing flies right and you are not doing a little bit of a bicep curl and you are engaging your chest, I encourage you to lighten the weight and let your elbows come all the way up. Soar like an eagle, and then contract your chest all the way in. And you don't necessarily have to tap your hands or bring your hands close. You can get a good contraction making the smallest movement, but if you bring it all the way up and then down, it's so juicy.
So tip for incline bench press. A small tip just as far as setup is concerned. When you are doing incline, try and make sure you can set up your incline, the bench, as low of an incline as possible. So the higher the incline, the more delt you're gonna get. But another tip that I would have, instead of keeping your elbows at a 90-degree angle when you're pushing, try and think about almost twisting them in, so they're more like a 45-degree angle almost, and then make sure you're getting that full range of motion. But yeah, definitely not 90-degree pushing. You want to keep those shoulder blades retracted, and that elbow at more of a 45-degree angle.
Look at those delts. Do that again. Straighten your arm out. Woo! Woo! Damn, Daniel!
Alright guys, so me just coming off show, I want to give a few tips that I learned from the show and how to interact with the judges and then make your physique look that much better. So tips that I have acquired from the show is that when you're up on stage, you want to eye lock the judges. And if you come eye contact with them, you do not want to let your eyes off them until they turn their head. And it's all about presenting yourself confidently and smiling, but still making sure you engage each judge. And then when you're posing, when you get in your transitional pose, you want to follow what you're doing, and basically you're checking your body out to make sure it's in the right position. And it shows some cockiness, but at the same time, as soon as you lock it in, and you look up at the judges and you lock in that smile, they feel the energy and they love it. They feed off of it. So you really need to paint that picture that you're having the time of your life.
And like an infinite amount of confidence, right?
Yeah, just ultimate. It's you versus the judges. The crowd, don't worry about the crowd. You need to focus on the judges.
So we're gonna treat ourselves today. I don't usually have Chipotle just because it's hard to track, but today I'm just gonna eat a little bit intuitively. But you guys might be wondering, like, what are you doing about your sodium? What are you doing about preservatives, all that stuff? I don't cut that out until I'd say about 3 weeks out. Then I really start tracking my sodium and my preservatives and like any sort of like artificial sweeteners if I do have any of that stuff. That way I know exactly what my water weight is. I start cutting that stuff out early. That way I can see what I'm really looking like when I'm not holding any water. But in general right now when I'm dieting, I'm eating a lot of whole foods. I'm cooking a lot for myself. Sodium is a little up, but I'm eating as little like processed stuff as I possibly can, except for, of course, that Cliff Bar, baby. You know I love that Cliff Bar.
That brings us to the conclusion of the episode. The part where I get to tell you how I'm feeling overall about myself and the future of what we are doing here, which is coming to a competition on June 11th. If you guys do want to join the competition, either compete in it or just see what we're doing, it is on June 11th. The link for the competition details will be below. If you want to buy a ticket, come check it out, support us. We're going to bring handprints so everybody can get one for free. But I've been feeling so good about my physique, so good about my body, and I really think this is heavily to do with the fact that I'm finally back in the gym. You guys, if you're following, you know that I've been sick for like, 11, 12 days, and it took me out of the gym. Literally wasn't able to do anything. It was just, honestly, is very discouraging. Like, I don't know, it took a little toll on me, boys and girls. But I am back, and having hit everything once, and now I'm on that second workout for every muscle group, it is so sweet. I'm so happy. John Venus is here he got here on Saturday. He is going to be here until Friday. So, you know, some people might think that having somebody with you is actually kind of debilitating or slows you down. Most of the time that's actually true. Like, you'll notice that I mostly work out by myself. I'm pretty lone wolf in my workouts because I like to get in my head. I like to, you know, turn my angry music on, focus out and focus in. But it's actually been pretty cool because John Venus and I have a very similar physique size and weight and everything, and our strength levels are very similar. So when we work out together, it pushes me really hard because it's like watching my doppelganger, like my twin or something. I can't let myself be beaten by myself, so I have to do better, right? So it's actually really encouraging to keep me pushing. I think I'm gonna plan on losing about 5, maybe 6 more pounds before we actually step on stage, and then obviously it could be a little bit more, you know, it's kind of variable with the water weight. I've got a lot of events coming up now. We got the FitCon in Texas, so if you guys didn't know, I'm gonna be in FitCon in Texas May 20th, 21st. If you're gonna be there, you better stop by, say what's up. I'm gonna be there with RTB, the whole booth, Raise the Bar. So Chelsea, me, John, JD, LP, we are all gonna be there, so make sure you stop by and see us. I've got a couple clothing releases and a couple other things coming up. So point being just that there's a lot of busyness happening, but I'm not gonna fall off. And of course, you're gonna have a lot of busyness happening in your life too, and you can't fall off, especially in contest prep. So I'm excited for you guys to follow with, see what happens in this whole next about a month until competition, and I'm really excited to see what kind of a package we can bring to this vegan men's physique competition as Vegan Hercules. So thank you guys for joining the episode this week. Hopefully next week I have some amazing progress to show you on the next episode of Revealing Hercules.